Hey guys, this is the Katie Weaver Show. Just waiting for the prompt from my producer to go live, so sit tight with me. Hey everybody, and welcome to the Katie Weaver Show. This is Katie. I'm your host, and I'm so happy to be here. If you are listening live, it is the 21st of January, 2020 at 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you're listening to an archive or a replay, I'd like to also welcome you to the show. I want to let you know that we're over in the chat room. And you can find us by heading over to 12radio.com. That's number 2radio.com. Click on the chat button and you'll be redirected into the Facebook chat. So easy enough to connect. It is a private group, so you'll want to ask for entry, but our talented and spirited producer Scott is standing by and he'll gladly let you in the room. You will see my banner there at the top of the page. That's a great place to ask a question, make a comment, contribute to the conversation. You can also view my live stream, and I am live streaming straight from that chat room, so you can see it there. But if you'd like to watch the live stream later on, you can find it uploaded over at YouTube under Domestic Mystic on YouTube. All of the housekeeping. Okay. All of those things that need to be said because we have new people all the time, and I know some of you guys have heard that spiel 1,000 times, but we don't want to leave out the new folks showing up. We want them to come and have a fun experience with me, with you guys, with everybody. So there you go. How's your week, guys? Everybody doing okay? It's been an interesting one. I understand that Puerto Rico has slowed down in their shaking, but they're still getting quite a few tremors and a quake here and there. So we're going to keep them in our thoughts and prayers, most definitely. And obviously keep an eye on what their needs are as well. Thoughts and prayers are great, but they're not everything, right? Sometimes we need a little more than that. So we'll keep our finger on that as well. I want to show you guys something. Oh, but the other thing in Puerto Rico, really interesting, they have had 2 flashes in the sky now. Now, the first one happened last week. They had a meteor burn out through the sky right in front of them, and it put on quite a light show. You can look it up and find it online if you choose to. Really interesting. Well, this morning they had another one. So what I just read right before the show was that, as it turns out, the second one was not a meteorite or a meteor at all. It was actually space garbage burning up on its way into the atmosphere. So a couple of thoughts on that. First of all, well, thank God it burned up before it got to our friends, right? But also just interesting, really interesting energetic stuff going on over there. I wanted to tell you that I had a couple of weeks ago on the show, we did a healing circle, a virtual healing circle for Australia and Puerto Rico. And now, of course, Australia has had fires, they had fires. They have had a fair amount of rain that has really helped, help them get control of their fires. They still have an enormous rebuilding effort, and the animals and the people there are still in an enormous amount of misery and suffering. So let's not forget them. But I did, a couple of weeks ago on the show, we did a healing circle, a virtual healing circle for both of those situations, and also just for the earth herself. I put that on my podcast as a standalone meditation. So I shared it for you in the chat room. In both chats, so that you can find that there. You can also find it over on my fan page here on Facebook under Katie Weaver. But I also want to tell you something kind of fun about my podcast. So my podcast is typically my replays of this show, which you can also find at 12radio.com. But I just moved my podcast, reset it. It was a big project I had on my plate last week, and I'm really excited about it. I moved it to a carrier called Transistor, who, if you're looking for a podcast host, by the way, loving them. Super user-friendly and have done everything they said that they do, unlike SoundCloud. unfortunately. But anyway, you can now say, Alexa, play the Katie Weaver Show on TuneIn. You can say, Alexa, play the Katie Weaver Show on uh, Spotify. You can ask Google Play to play the Katie Weaver Show. You can find it at iHeartRadio and quite a few other places. So I've managed to get it. Oh, and iTunes. It's on iTunes now as well. So you can listen to my archives in a lot of different ways that might be useful for you guys. So I wanted to make sure that you knew that. You can also ask Siri to play it on iTunes. So kind of fun stuff. And of course, I do my best to get my archives posted same day so that you're not waiting for them if there's something you wanted to hear or rehear. I also want you guys to know that today is the day of the month where I read with all of the decks of all of my colleagues here in the 1-2 world, including my own. And so I've got a bunch of different decks in front of me. I guess I'll just go ahead and show them to you now. I have Whispers from the Ocean by Angela Hartfield. This is Angie's brand new deck. I did have to wrestle this away from my husband because it's technically his and he wasn't giving it up. But, you know, we just need it for the hour. He'll be fine. Okay. I have both decks from Kelly McLean. So her brand new deck, Resistance is Futile, and I have mixed it in by her admonition or her suggestion with Sweary Spirituality. So we have them both together as one deck. So we'll read from those today as well. And hold on. I have the Ground Bless Protect and Move deck. This is my deck that I published with the Psychic Sisters. I have Mo Tarot. This is Mo's tarot deck that he published a couple of years ago. All hand done by Mo, every single card. Really fun. And of course, though she might not be in the 1-2 world anymore, she's still in mine and yours too if you're online a little. So I do have the Kindred Spirits Energy Oracle deck by Christy Brower. So got all of our decks in front of us here. So if you would like a reading, just let me know in the chat room. Ask me a question, please. Let's do like one question readings today so that we can streamline. I would love to get to as many of you as I can. However, if you need energy work, not necessarily a reading, you're welcome to put that up there too. I'm not going to be that rigid, right? I hope not. Okay, so there's all of that. So I do want to see all of those. I wanted to tell you all of that so that you could think about what you would like to ask me today, if anything, and get that in the chat room. So when I go, read for you, I'll just trust my spirit to decide what decks to pull cards from, and we'll go from there. So there we go. Okay, well, I posted a picture in the chat room of my dogs, my little Skippy and my Rico. They're currently taking a nap on an electric blanket, turned out too low because Skippy, and I talked a lot last week about what's happening with Skippy. Well, I blogged about it. I don't think I told you guys specifically, but we've really been struggling with seizures. And Skip is 15. He's an old guy. And he's been seizing for about 5 years, but just very rarely. He's been on medication for seizures for about 3 years, and he has had 2 days of cluster seizures now that didn't want to stop. And that is really scary and disconcerting, and it's worrying us a little, that maybe our old guy's about at the end of the line. And I think that's true. We're in the twilight. This is geriatric doggy care, But we certainly want to make him as comfortable as possible as long as we can and make the right decisions for him. So the vet added a new med last Monday after a second weekend of cluster seizures, different ones the second time, but seizures nonetheless. So the great news is the seizures have completely stopped. He's not seizing at all. He is eating like a maniac and drinking a ton of water and acting pretty normal on all of those fronts. However, this dog is like Benjamin Button right now. He's acting like he did when he was a puppy. He throws god-awful tantrums if I don't hold him or feed him the second he wants me to. which means that I'm doing most of my tasks during the day right now with a dog in my arms because he wants held. And this isn't new behavior from him. This is the way he has behaved for a long time when he was younger. As he's gotten older, he hasn't been quite so clingy. When he was younger, I couldn't even make dinner without him screaming and bawling at my feet to be held. One of the kids would have to hold him, or sometimes I would like put him in a hoodie so that I could just let him like hang, be close to my heart so I could cook and stuff or type. Many things I have been written with him perched on a pillow on my lap because he insisted on being held. So it's not necessarily new behavior from him to demand to be held every second, but it's fairly new for now. And the crying and the screaming and bawling and howling and wailing is a little over the top. But he's pretty he's really drugged with everything he's on to control the seizures. And so I do use a little CBD too when he gets kind of amped up. You guys know, like when a toddler or a baby is so tired they can't go to sleep, and if they would just go to sleep, they would be fine, but they can't, and they're a nightmare. Well, he's doing some of that. So we rub a little CBD in his ear and cuddle him in a warm blanket, and that usually is enough for him to go to sleep. So we're definitely rolling with a toddler around here these days, and he's just cracking me up. But anyway, so that's what's going on with my Skip. So no seizures, thank goodness. Oh, and hungry as a bear. I think that the second med, the second seizure med must make you hungry because he thinks he's dying. He's so hungry every second. And so, but he doesn't have a lot for teeth. And so you can't really do like doggy treats, typically. I searched the shelves at the pet food store and got some really soft little things that I can give him, like little training treats, because he's so hungry, or at least he thinks he is. So anyway, and not that we're starving him to death. We're certainly not. But my goodness, how much can one little guy eat? But a lot, apparently. So anyway, that's what's new in my world. Just a really wild stint of doggy daycare here with this kid. And yeah, back to a place where if I'm going to cook dinner, he has to be held by somebody, or it's going to be a fracas the whole time. But what do you do, right? Here's the thing. We love them, and we'll give them everything we can. Lisa wanted to know if he's on carprofen. No, he's not. I wish I could think what it's called. It's called vet something. Anyway, and well, he's on two things for seizures, but I can't think of the names of either of those right now. Maybe I'm on them too. I can't think of a thing. Oh, well. Anyway, that's what's new in my world. Just a whole bunch of that. So I did snuggle him down in a warm blanket with his brother before the show, but if he ends up howling at the door of my office, which he might, because he follows my voice, he can't see very well these days. He's got cataracts, but also add upon him all the seizures, I think, really compromised his vision. So he's he can't see well, but he can hear well, and he can yell loud. So he's got something going for him. But anyway, if he hears my voice in my office, he may end up howling at the door. And if he does, then his dad might just bring him on in here so that I can hold him, while we do the show, which I'm sure no one would have an objection to. But I'm hoping he'll just sleep with his brother for a while. So we'll see. Again, it's a bit like having a toddler at home. The thing that you're hoping they will do is frequently not the thing they do. And there's not a lot of reasoning with him at this point. It's mostly just doing what he wants. Also, like a toddler. So we'll take what we can get, right? We love him. So, all righty. Well, let's talk about a couple of things here. I do want to turn your attention to Luminous here for just a minute. Luminous, of course, is the magazine that I publish weekly with my colleagues at One to Listen, with several of them, quite a few of them, and all of their contributions, as well as some of my own work. So you can find that over at katie-weaver.com under the Luminous Magazine button, but you can also find it on Instagram, Luminous Magazine. And of course, you'll find it right here in the chat room. I just posted it. So if you would like to follow me there, I love the cover this week. It's kind of steampunk, futuristic. I loved it. All right. I did call this magazine or this edition the Spread Your Wings edition because there's some really interesting manifesting energy this week in manifesting big and manifesting a lot of magic. And this is a good time to fly. This is a great time to launch something new. It's a good time to consider a new job or, consider a large purchase. Like, we're in a good energy for that this week. But also just in bringing abundance into your life, clients, jobs, freelance work, whatever it is that you're doing, this is a great week for it. So I love that. So what do? You spread your wings, right? In my musings, I made a meme for Dr. King. Of course, yesterday was Martin Luther King Day. And Scott and I talked about it quite a bit yesterday on 1-2 News also about Dr. King. And, Scott and I, well, we have been married for, I think, about 1,000,000 years. We can be pretty different in our personalities, of course, and in our, philosophies. And so we had a pretty interesting conversation yesterday about hate and our differences in how we see it or feel it or choose to feel it or don't want to feel it. So that was kind of fun. If you didn't get a chance to listen to 1-2 News, we had a good conversation about it. And also we had C.A. Brooks as our guest, which was great also. I just put a little note, though, in my musings. The world needs your light more than she needs your anger. The world needs your kindness more than she needs your rage. More than anything, the world needs you. Not a time to sit by, is it? It doesn't mean you have to be on the front lines of activism. It doesn't mean that you have to be mad. It doesn't mean that you have to be doing any certain thing, but it does mean that you need to show up. You need to notice what's going on in our world, and you need to decide how you want to throw your pebbles in the pond, right? What are you throwing in the pond? Is it peace? Is it happiness? Is it joy? Is it kindness? Is it compassion? Where are you going with it? There's no wrong answer, right? Dr. King said, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And I believe those words. I do. I believe in the power of compassion, of kindness, of love. I think that all of those beget understanding. And when we can get to a place of understanding our enemies, we don't really need to hate them anymore. I think more than anything, we hate what we don't understand. And that has created an enormous amount of trouble in this world, along with the idea that we have to belong to a special club, and that club has to be better than everybody else's, whether that is race or religion or anything else, or nationality or anything else. Having to belong to something special and then persecute others for not being just like you. And those things come, I think, very much from a place of fear. But if we could get rid of that need to be in the special club, if we could get rid of that need to be above other people in some way, if we could get rid of the need to hate, we could get rid of an enormous amount of problems on this planet. So we keep working towards it, right? If that is what we can do. Okay. Kai wrote an article about the Chinese New Year. We are in the year of the metal rat. Yeah, year of the rat. I love it. So it is coming up, but I really loved it's a great article. It's a lot of good information, way more than I even knew or understood about Chinese New Year. So I hope that you read it because it'll give you a good sense of everything that's happening. Chinese New Year is a big deal in China, and probably I'm going to assume in Hong Kong as well, and perhaps other countries in that region. See, that's what I don't know. But anyway, I really appreciated her article. It taught me a lot. So thank you for that, Kai. And I loved it. My tip of the week this week is about worry jars. If you've never used a worry jar, It's very helpful if you're a worrier or if you have somebody in your house that is. I used this with my kids in the past. My youngest used to be quite the worrier. She's not so much anymore, but we can always pull this technique out if we needed to. But if you or someone in your home finds themselves consumed with too many worries, what does it mean if you're consumed with too many worries? Well, if it's consuming a lot of your time, if you are laying in bed at night with a knot in your stomach, if you are constantly thinking about and dealing with trouble and or, you know, trying to negate trouble that hasn't happened yet, just constantly in a place of worry, then this might be a tip for you. Take a mason jar or another cute jar or container or a little tin or something nice and put some squares of paper and some pens and put it all together in an accessible spot. And when your worries get to be too heavy, write them down and put them in the jar. And every once in a while, pull all of those worries out and burn them. It's just a good way to get rid of them for a while. If worry is overcoming you, find a place to put it so that you don't have to carry it constantly. That gets really heavy, right? So find a place to put it. The fact is that the things that we worry about most frequently don't happen anyway. But our ego worries. Our ego is charged with keeping us safe. And some people have egos that are, you know, in hyper overdrive and they will keep you in a place of worry. And when you're in a place of worry, it's hard to be present, right? It's hard to enjoy the moment, the now. It's hard to enjoy what you're doing currently or what's happening in your life. Worry can rob you. And so if you find yourself worrying too much, it's worth doing something about it. All right. Anything else? It is the 1-year anniversary of Elizabeth Lindsay's Cosmic Strip. So she has been publishing them here and I think over in the Power Peak and on her website and in her newsletters for a year now. Not just publishing them, but creating them. And so she gave us a little cosmic strip this time that actually has 4 different strips on it to celebrate. So I absolutely love it. And I love that she's doing these. I know they're an enormous amount of work and they're so cool. So thank you, Elizabeth, and congratulations. Happy anniversary. All righty. Well, there's lots more in Luminous that I will let you hunt down on your own and read. And please, if you see something that jumps out at you, let the author know. They love hearing it. It's nice to know that the work you're doing is, benefiting someone in some way. So I hope that you have a chance to read it from cover to cover at some point, but thank you for indulging me here on the show. I'm going to take a quick jump into the chat room here. So again, today is a reading day. So if you would like a reading, make sure that you make a request in the chat room and I will get to as many of you as I can. So this is good. Okay. I wanted to do a little bit of grounding work today, just like in the Daily Dish and other work, that I'm doing. Grounding came up repeatedly. So I wanted to make sure that we did some work on that front. So I brought a singing bowl. It is my root chakra bowl, and I'm going to play the bowl. I'm going to play it twice. The first time I play it, I would like you to just allow the frequency of the singing bowl to permeate your root chakra and just allow you to release anything that no longer serves you. Any energy that you're carrying, any attachments, cords, connections, psychic debris, core beliefs, whatever that you're holding in your root that is no longer in your best that's no longer serving your highest and best good. There we go. Let's release it now. So just breathe here with me. Focus on your root. Okay. All right. So there's that piece. Now we're going to go back to the root, this time allowing the frequency of the singing bowl to bring your root into perfect balance. While I play the bowl, I would like for you to send red tree roots from the bottoms of your feet deep, deep, deep into the earth, and then allow the frequency of the earth to climb up those roots and move all the way through you, clear to your root and back to your feet, creating a reciprocal energy of grounding. So we'll do that now. Perfect. Very good. Okay, feeling grounded and centered. We love it. All righty. So, doesn't that feel good? I love that bowl. That bowl shakes you to your core. For sure. Okay. All righty. Let's take a look. There's one more thing I want to tell you about, and that is my scopes. I have a new writing endeavor. It's a collaboration of work between Scott and myself, actually. And it is scopes over at 12listen.com. We have scopes, horoscopes at the top of the page. And I have a brand new scope over there. It is called Venus Scopes, writing about love and relationships, really just focusing on all relationships in your life because, love is one of them, like romantic love, but of course, there's so much more than that. And so that's kind of fun. Those come out every Monday. And then you just go over there and you'll see on the right-hand side of the page, and that's at 12listen.com. Number 1, number 2, listen.com. And on the right-hand side of the page at the top, you'll see all of the signs of the zodiac. And you just click on the one that you want to read, and you'll see a drop-down of all of the scopes that we have showing. So, for example, currently, we have 3 weeklies. We have empowerment scopes, kaleidoscopes, and Venus scopes. And we have 3 monthlies, bitch scopes, Merlin scopes, and star scopes. So of course, mine are Venus scopes. So you'll just click on them and then you can read the Venus scope for the week. So I thought we'd take a look today at Scorpio. So Scorpio for this week, your Venus scope is, you will find that you will find that your current romantic relationship or career partnerships need your attention this week. Your passion and drive have given you tunnel vision, and you have forgotten to slow down and notice those around you that need your attention. So, Scorpio, make sure that you're not neglecting your relationships this week. That could be catastrophic, I think. And I know it's just not what you want to do anyway. So make sure that while you obviously have some things you're excited about career-wise, that you're not forgetting the people around you that not just need your attention, but also, are a part of your process. Because if you do that, you could really breed some resentment and maybe create something that you don't want in those relationships. So kind of a warning for you this week. But anyway, you can read yours by heading over to 12listen.com and reading them right there. So kind of fun. I'm loving the new scopes, actually. It's a fun peek into the week. I will say that the last 2 weeks, Cancer, I'm a Cancer, so I have my own tunnel vision. Cancer has had 2 great weeks, which has been really nice as far as relationships are concerned. So we'll keep it rolling. But anyway, just wanted to make sure that you guys knew about all of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look in the chat room. Maybe sip a little tea, Earl Grey today. Earl Grey with sugar-free vanilla and cream, so it's more like a London fog, because I love those. Short of just a good cup of coffee, London fog, man. Where it's at. Okay. Terry said she is also snuggled in her blanket with her kitty on her lap. Good. I'm glad he's in the house and behaving, Terry. All righty. Jennifer shared us a picture of Bella. Bella also hasn't been feeling her best, but seems to be swinging up. So we'll keep our heart with Bella as well. All right. Michelle says we are hoping to buy a house this year soon. What do you pick up on around that topic? Michelle, let's see. I'm thinking we're going to pull a Mo Tarot card and a Sweary Spirituality card. So let's take a look. So I'm pulling cards out of the Mo deck and out of the, I don't know what to call this deck now. The resistance is, we'll just call it the Sweary Spirituality deck, right? I think so. I'll check with the boss to be sure, but I think that's what she's going to say. By the way, Kelly's birthday was yesterday, so happiest of birthdays, Kelly dear. Hopefully you had a great day. And what do they say? Happy, happy birthday, Kelly dear. Happy things will come to you all year. Yeah. That was a primary song when I was a kid, so I don't know if you guys know it. Maybe you do. I don't know why I still know primary songs, but you bet I do. Okay. So the card from Kelly is don't push, breathe. Creating is like birthing. And I think that's a really good, that's a part of this process here, Michelle, because one thing that's coming up for me is that I think you are going to buy a house soon. I feel like that is happening. However, do not settle for what you don't want just to get something right this second. I feel like if you do that, you're going to regret it because the thing that you really want will become available. So obviously you want to have a really good realtor on your team that is watching for really what you want, huge piece of the pie, but also that you don't get in such a hurry that you end up compromising too much. When you buy a house, there are some compromises. We know this is true, but if you push too hard, you're going to end up, I'm afraid, with something that isn't exactly what you want or not enough of what you want. So just, yes, you want to buy this year. Yes, you want to make this happen. Those things I believe absolutely are going to happen, but let's not get so hasty that that you don't get what you want. All right, so the card from Mo is the Eight of Swords. And the message on the card is interference. So what I feel like from this card, what I'm getting from this card, Michelle, is there's going to be things that are asked of you, like for your lender and for the realtor and things like that, that have to be done in a timely fashion, and it's really going to fall on you. And so don't wait for anyone else to take action. Be the person that does it. Don't worry about, stepping on anybody's toes. Don't worry about getting out of alignment there. I feel like you're going to have to be the person who acts the most, whether it's, providing paperwork or filing taxes or, whatever it is that they're asking for. Don't really worry about equality in it. Like, really take the bull by the horns and do those things. The interference that I see is all around time, that you want to make sure everything on your side is done really in a timely way so that the ball is out of your court and into the court of the powers that be so that they can get their job done. It is a big deal, right? But at any rate, I feel like it's happening. I think that you are going to buy a house this year. I would suspect that you are have purchased and moved into a house by June. So that's my prediction. I feel like it's going to come pretty quickly. Pretty exciting stuff. So keep us posted. And when you buy that house, let's do a little clearing and blessing to get it all set up for you guys. Okay. Okay, Maureen is waiting on a call to schedule an interview for her interview with AstraZeneca. Yes, Maureen. Let's see. Let's pull. I want to pull two things for you. I'm going to pull from The Whispers of the Ocean from Angela Hartfield. By the way, you guys, I know I've showed you this deck before, but it just went live on Amazon, about 2 months ago? And so you can get it on Amazon. It is so gorgeous. Every single card in this deck is absolutely beautiful. So if you've been thinking about a new deck, this would be a great one. Okay, Maureen. All right, and then no, I guess it's Mo Tarot again. Mo is winning the day. Okay. I wish it didn't take so much time to pull all of the cards, but it just does, and it is, right? It's just what it is. So it's fine. No need to worry. Okay. All right. So the first card is a pot of dolphins, whales, not dolphins, sorry. I really need to brush up on my sea life here. A pot of whales. The card's message is life is better together. Seek assistance from your community. Connect with family, friends, or others who will support you. It can be as simple as making a phone call. So that really reiterates something that I was thinking too, and that's that I think that more networking might be called for. And just, I feel like you've gotten reassurance from people on the inside that they feel like you are going to get that interview. But, it's a little support from them might be called for, and just, keeping connected to people that can help further you there is going to be really important. So, and then the Mo card is the Prince of Wands. The Prince of Wands. It is like a scarecrow, a jack-o'-lantern that's kind of on fire down in a pit. So what does this card mean? Well, this card is telling me that it's burning you up waiting. I'm going to take it pretty literally. That it's burning you up waiting. I feel like, honestly, it's giving you an opportunity, though, to wrap up some other loose ends in your life, get some things with your family squared away and situated, because I do feel like by the end of the year, you are working for them, and that life will get really busy and chaotic for you for a while. It's a good busy. I don't think you're going to, mind it, but this is a good opportunity for you while, your fire's burning hot and you're waiting and you're ready to keep tying up loose ends at home. So what is my prediction about when you're going to get the call and get this interview? I really feel like the interview will come here in the next few weeks. Now, I have felt like that for a while, though, and I think they just, like organization-wise, I think they have gone through a bit of tumult, and also just the holidays really kind of threw everything into a bit of chaos. And then I think that they actually had a moment of not hiring for a moment while they settled out their a quarter or something financial like that. But I feel like you're finally back in that place now, Maureen, where that call could come in any day. I feel like it's coming. So hang in there and stay positive. And again, keep tying up loose ends so that when the job comes, you're ready to hit the ground running. Okay, Michelle said, and this was back on the house, she said, right on. All of what you said is right on. I have been the only one doing the footwork, but I don't mind because I'm hyper-focused on this goal. And it's funny, I told my husband, I don't intend to settle because I've waited my entire life to have a home. Yep, good for you. And that is that's one little piece that I think, Michelle, while we're on the topic, that might get a little bit dicey, and that's coming to peace between what you want and what your husband wants. I feel like for the very most part, he's going to just let you take the lead and get what you want. I do. I think he's going to be pretty good that way. But if things get a little dire, if things get a little desperate, he might be the one that tries to pressure you to just settle on something, and you're going to have to continue to be clear with him. But I feel like you guys interface with each other well enough, and he knows you well enough to know that you need to get here what you need to get. So I'm pretty comfortable on that front. He just might panic for a minute and try to just push you into settling on something because he needs it to be over with. But it's going to be okay. Okay. Let's jump back. Hello, Cindy, watching from work. All right, Julie. Let's see, Julie. All right, Julie, I want to pull you a card from my deck. So Julie just would like some help around attracting money in 2020. She's been creating for several years, ready to reap some rewards. You sure have been. I'm going to pull you a card from my deck and a card from the Kindred Spirits Energy Oracle deck. Okay. There is something for you, Julie, around writing. And I don't mean your writing. I mean, you're already doing your own writing. This is more like freelancing or writing copy or something along those lines, that I feel like there is a job that you could seek out that wouldn't be a full-time job at all, because you don't want that. You have your own stuff you're working on. You need something that you can do anytime, anywhere. And so I would love for you to consider what kind of freelance writing or work could you offer, and how could you get it out to the world? I mean, there's ways for you to connect to people who are looking for writing, but you're a skilled writer. And I know that you're also skilled in the world of advertising. And so I feel like there's something there for you that you could be doing, some part-time something that would just help bring more money into your world. And honestly, I think maybe at this point, that would be just the pin, that would be like pulling the pin that it takes to get things flowing even more rapidly. So think about that and what that would look like for you. And also, as I'm saying that, I'm feeling some resistance in you and worried, not so sure about your own skills, and I highly disagree. I know that you are a skilled writer and that you could, in lots of different ways, hire yourself out to help some other people on projects. So just think about it. All right, so the two cards that came forward for you. So from the Energy Oracle deck, it is the Protect card. So this is Christy's deck. They are fractal art. So here's what she says. I hate to admit how far away from myself I have to hold things in order to read them. I think that reading glasses are on the horizon for me. I've been trying them on in the dollar store, embarrassing the hell out of my kids, but I haven't settled on anything. Okay, the Protect card. Conscious awareness, discernment, foundation, forethought, and intention. So that's the place that you need to be. And Julie, I think you're pretty much in that now. But when we're talking about protect, we're talking about protecting your finances, protecting your financial health, right? We're talking about money. The challenge is feeling vulnerable, impulsive, distractions, and ungrounded. Mostly for you, it's feeling vulnerable, right, financially. So a couple of things. One I would recommend is that you go back over the past year and reflect on the things that you have done that have brought you financial gain, also saved you money, created an opportunity for you to do the things you want to do, because those all have a value, right? They all have a sense of a financial value in some way. And then, because you need to give yourself credit for what you have done so that you can continue to push forward, right? All right. So the crystal is hematite. The meditation is I am aware of the energy around me. I listen to myself and I trust my intuition. So again, this card is really just telling me, just keep doing what you're doing. You're on the right track. You've been doing this for a while. And I feel like the money does start to flow this year. The card I pulled for you is the Dark Stone card. This is also a ground card from this deck. This is from the ground segment of this deck. And so Christy called for a hematite, so I'll back that up, or an obsidian or tourmaline, anything dark to help you stay grounded. I think staying grounded while you're working on your projects is going to really help you out in the sense of being able to create what you want, right? It's when we get ungrounded, we panic. Sometimes we make decisions that aren't actually in our highest and best good. So, Julie, it's happening, girl. It's your world is unfolding. What a fun dream you've been living the last few years, and it just keeps going on and on, but with more money. Okay, I love it. Okay. Oh, good. She said, I just reached out to a company to see where I can contribute some articles as you were speaking. Perfect. There you go. You know what's up, Julie. You're a professional, and I know that you have so much to offer. It's just getting you in front of the right people, right? That's all it's ever really been, because you know what to do. Okay. Okay, Laura needs some energy work. She's got some sinus stuff going on. I really want to pull you a card too, actually, Laura. I'm going to pull you a card out of the Whispers from the Ocean deck because I want to. Okay. And we'll do some energy work. She said her sinuses are killing her, so we'll get on that. All right. Ooh, okay. All right, the card is a school of, no, they're narwhals, aren't they? I believe these are narwhals. Okay. I need like a key or something. Okay. Or I need to go back to second grade and learn what lives in the ocean. I believe that these are narwhals, but maybe they're not. If they're not, someone can please let me know. Distinctive potential. Rely on your faith and the knowledge that nothing is impossible. Use your determination to hang in there until you realize a goal. Really pretty card. I love it. Laura, really what that card says to me is this. Don't give up. You are finally going to feel better. I feel like you've been sick for so long with this flu and cold situation that there's a little part of you that's kind of going, am I ever going to feel normal again? Have you ever had that feeling when you're like, have my lungs ever not felt like this? Have my sinuses ever not felt like this? And the truth is, yeah, you are at the tail end of this. So keep taking good care of yourself. Hang in there. This really is going to end and you're going to get back to feeling like you. But with all of that being said, let's offer you a little energy work as well to help maybe take some pressure off of the sinuses because I can see that feels awful. All right. So part of my gift as an empath, as Christy would call a kinetic empath, is that I can feel what you feel in your body. And so, Laura, just tuning into you, I can feel that pressure. I mean, it's here, it's above your eyes, but it's under, but it wraps all the way around your jaw and your ears. Everything is suffering. So let's call in the ethereal element of gold. I'm calling in tiny spheres of gold and calling in the ethereal element of rubies. I'm going to combine them into tiny spheres, Laura, like tiny BBs that we're going to send all the way through your sinuses. So we're going to start at the back of your neck and just work those all the way through. So they do twofold. They help fight infection and they help to release inflammation. So, and that of course is, the theory is ethereal elements. So using ethereal crystals and ethereal metals. Nice release just there in your jaw. All right, all the way through and out. I don't want to leave that there. All right, I'm going to go back to the back of your neck and send them all the way through your sinuses again. Good. Good. And then last, Laura, I'm just going to wrap your head in a chi ball. A chi ball will just help to help a blue chi ball. Sorry, I'm working and not talking well. A blue chi ball of light to just help to diminish that inflammation. It's the inflammation, I think, more than anything, that's creating all of that pressure that's keeping things from moving like they should, and it just hurts. So lots of that. And obviously, if you aren't getting better, you probably want to pay another visit to your doc. But I'll leave that on your shoulders to do what you think is right for you. Okay, good. The back of your neck feels really tense too, Laura. Have you considered, maybe you have, but some hot and cold on the back of your neck and some oils might help to get the inflammation down there so that your everything can drain appropriately. Would be really good for you. Yeah. Oh, John said he did not know you can get reading glasses at the dollar store. John, I have to tell you an embarrassing story. I was in the dollar store trying on reading glasses, and someone said, "Well, hello." And I turned around, and it was my friend Josh that I went to high school with that is an optometrist. And I'm in the dollar store trying on reading glasses. And I was so embarrassed. And I said, "Oh, how are you?" And I took them off and I said, "Dollar store glasses." And he said, "Oh, no, I send people over here for dollar store glasses all the time." So apparently they're okay. But, I felt a little sheepish when I ran into my optometrist and I was buying glasses at the dollar store. But anyway, he said, "It's okay." So there you go. Awesome. Oh, thank you, Julie. She said, "Shout out to Katie. I have enjoyed her 12-month video reading for the last 2 years. I listen to them all year long for guidance and support. It's like Katie is with me all year long. Highly recommended." Thank you so much, Julie. And I do that is still listed over at One to Listen. I'm only going to offer that through the end of this month, obviously, because it's a 12-month reading, and well, I usually do them for the first of the year. But if you have not picked one up, I've done quite a few of them, but if you haven't and you're interested in those, just come over to one2listen.com under me, Katie Weaver, and you'll find that in my email readings. So what you do is you purchase it as an email reading, and then I will do the work and make a video of it and send you that with a link so that you can just have it forever and watch it as many times as you want. So thank you, Julie, for that. Okay. Yes, Laura said she has been feeling quite defeated just in being so sick. So, yep. Well, we'll just keep holding the faith with you, holding the light here that you get feeling better ASAP. Okay. Quick look here in the chat room. Denise is thinking about moving to a one-level home this year. So she wondered if I have any thoughts and any ideas about timing. So Denise, I'm actually going to pull you a Sweary Spirituality card just because I think you could use a little bit of extra sass. You could. It's true. She's laughing. I know it. So I'm going to pull that for you. But while you do that, I'll tell you that I feel like that move is an absolute possibility for you this year. I feel like you're going to have to get a little bit creative in making the move happen with getting some help from other people, from others that can help you make it happen. I feel like you're basically going to have to let your family members or whatnot know that this is the date that I'm moving and I do need you here, and, plan it in advance and just be very matter of fact that this is happening and I will be requiring your help. Because I feel like sometimes you get a little forgotten by those around you that, sometimes need a little nudge. It's not that they don't want to be there for you. I think that they just all have busy lives and they get a little out of sorts. So just a good reminder there. I feel like that could happen in the next 4 months. So not necessarily, that's not set in stone by any means, but I feel like in the next 4 months, you are going to have the opportunity to make it happen and really start rolling the ball. So, and you need it. You're absolutely right. This will make life so much easier for you. So I'm on board. All right, here's the card. The card says, what is the thing that you are hanging on to the tightest? What is the thing you have made so important that you still think all other things rely upon that thing's existence? The thing you are clinging to most desperately is often the thing you should let go of. And this is a card about resisting change. So I think that really the message of this card for you really is about allowing change and recognizing that not only do you need that move to a 1 level, but you deserve that. And even if it is a bit of a fiasco to make it happen for you and for others that might need to help you a little, it's worth it. Also, you are worth it. Your health, your stability, it's all worth it. So even if it feels a little daunting, let's go for it. This is a good idea. All right. Well, we've done what we do. We've definitely talked down to the end of the show. So I want to thank you all so much for being here. You'll find me over at One Two Listen, of course, and you'll find this show archived, and you can listen to it over, on your Alexa, on your iPod, all kinds of fun places. Tune in. I've got it all hooked up. And of course, you can watch this later on over at YouTube under Domestic Mystics. So thanks you guys so much for being here. You've been listening to The Katie Weaver Show here on 1-2 Radio, where we're changing the way you listen to the world.